How's it going, everybody? Rybread here today, and we are back with another NHL Awards night predictions. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll leave it down in the description. Actually, you know what? I'll just pop a card up at the top right now. It should be there. If you guys go ahead and click on it, you'll see it. My expansion draft predictions. Now, I could be totally wrong. I have no clue, but that's just the team, I picked, and that's, it's my first shot at it. I've never done that, and I didn't prep for it either. So I just kind of went in there at picks, so you guys get to see my live reaction to that. But now for the NHL Awards, which will be hosted Wednesday, June 21st at 8 p.m. on NBC Sports Network or Sportsnet if you're in Canada. From Las Vegas, which is pretty exciting because that's when they'll announce the expansion draft. So let's go ahead and check out the nominees. You know what? You will start from the bottom here. General Manager of the Year award, because we'll save the Hart Adams for the end. So we have Peter Chiarelli, Pierre Dorion, and David Poile. You guys can go ahead and read this article if you want. But, God, the team that, this is a tough one. Because we got Poile of the Predators, Dorion of the Senators, and Chiarelli of the Oilers. I'm not going to give Chiarelli a lot of credit because he tanked for McDavid, not even good enough, but somehow managed to win the lottery after jumping both the Coyotes and the Sabres. So I'm not going to give him credit because I would put the credit all on McDavid's shoulders. Pierre Dorion of the Ottawa Senators, I didn't think that team was that impressive this year. But they were basically carried as far as they were by some hot goaltending at the right moments and some really stellar play from Erik Karlsson. So you guys probably just guessed right now. I'm going to give that award to David. Is it Poile of the Nashville Predators? I think that team was very, very good top to bottom. They just were... Injuries cut that short. If they have Ryjo, that series is a little bit different. But hey, that Predators team had the best defense in the league by far. And they were a very, very good team. And they've got nowhere but up to go from here. So now we go back. The Masterton dedication to hockey. I'm just going to go ahead and give this one to Craig Anderson. I mean, the story, and I don't even need to read any of the other names. Like, I'm sure those guys have great stories and everything. But Craig Anderson, playing at the level he did with his wife having cancer, and then in the middle of the playoffs, she, I believe, gets diagnosed as cancer-free. Just the amount of relief he had. And to battle through that all season. I know he took some time off, but yeah, I definitely think that one goes to Craig Anderson. Now, as far as the Jack Adams Award for Coach of the Year, again, Todd McLellan. I know the Oilers had a very, very good season, but I don't really think he did much, bro. I definitely think that team was carried by McDavid and just some really young, good talent finally putting it together. And I'm not gonna say he did nothing and that it was all McDavid. But I definitely think that team didn't change too much year over year, except for McDavid becoming healthy for a full year and taking his game to a freaking new level. John Tortorella of the Columbus Blue Jackets, besides that one win streak they had, which I think was about 16 games, the team really didn't do much for the entire season. I did not predict, I didn't have them going anywhere in the playoffs against the Penguins, and they didn't do anything in the playoffs against the Penguins anyway. John Tortorella burned his players out by playing too much of a grinding style of hockey. I mean, yeah, that'll work in the regular season, but your team was really underwhelming and in the playoffs, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to give the award to Tortorella, but I will give it to the Toronto Maple Leafs head coach, Mike Babcock. Look at what he did with that roster. Now, that is a roster that just tanked last year to get Austin Matthews. And in his first season, he's got all these young guns and all these aging veterans that have been around forever, and somehow turns that into a very, very good playoff caliber team. I mean, they were extremely good all season. Babcock had that team playing at a level that not many people thought they could. So I'm going to give that award to Babcock. I mean, just look at it. He put Austin Matthews with guys that, I couldn't even name off the top of my head. Just because they're not superstars, And he had that team playing at a level and playing well. And look they made some noise in the playoffs. And guys, if they stay healthy, they'll certainly be back there next year. Now, for the Mark Messier Leadership Award, I'm just going to go ahead and give this one to Nick Foligno of the Columbus Blue Jackets. As the captain of the Blue Jackets, they've they've not been the greatest franchise since they entered the league. But this season, he really kept them all focused during the season, and I'm going to give that to Nick Foligno. I think he played well this season, was a very good leader. I don't like the way Getzlaf plays it. He takes a couple too many cheap shots for me. And Mark Giordano, his team, I felt underwhelmed by the Flames for most of the season. So I'm going to give that one to Nick Foligno. The Foundation Player Award for the core values of hockey. I don't even know this. What is this a new award? To the player who applies the core values of hockey: commitment, perseverance, and teamwork to enrich the lives of people in his community. Hamonic, a visit with 200 children who lost. Wow, that is impressive. And Simmons donated a lot of money. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give this one to Hamonic just because, I mean, he visited with over 200 children, and those guys are busy enough as it is, and he donated money. So nothing against what Simmons did. Simmons is a great guy for doing all this stuff. You know, spent time with the children in his off days. He also purchased private suites. Yeah. But I'm going to give this one to Hamonic. He definitely went above and beyond what the Call of Duty, so I'll give him that. For the Lady Bing Most Gentlemanly Player, I don't know about Tarasenko on this one. I'm leaning Goudreau or Granlund. Let's go ahead. I'm going to give this one to... let me just go ahead and double check and read a little bit about these guys because I'm not going to make this prediction and just seem stupid. Was assessed 2 minor penalties the entire season. What? Wow. So I'm going to give that one to Goudreau for being one of the league's best players all around and taking 2 minor penalties, which is fantastic. That's ridiculous. I'm going to give that one to Goudreau. He took very few penalties and played at an incredibly high level, the sport of hockey. The Selke, the best defensive forward, I'm going to go out on a limb here and give it to Mikko Koivu. I don't think that team makes it as far as they do if Koivu, if they don't have as great of a season. Now I'm going to retract that statement a little bit. No, I'm giving it to Koivu. I definitely think his contributions are overlooked, and I think he should get the Selke. We all know how good Bergeron is, and Kessler takes a little too many cheap shots. I mean, I know it's a best defensive forward. It's not the nice guy award like we just gave to Goudreau, but I'm going to give this one to Koivu, guys. Let me know. And at any time, if you disagree, pause the video. Let me know the time so I know what pick, or just let me know what pick, actually. That's fine. And then go ahead and give me your guys' picks. Calder Trophy, best rookie. No question, Austin Matthews. He was phenomenal in his rookie season. Absolutely dominant. But I think if Laine stays healthy and does not get laid out by Jake McCabe, I think he does almost better than Matthews because Laine, he even sniped it on his own net. The dude knows how to score. Vezina Trophy for the best goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky. I know those other 2 guys are names that we read about all the time, but Sergei Bobrovsky is the only reason the Blue Jackets went anywhere this season. I mean, the man was phenomenal. Holtby and Price, it's kind of one of those things where you come to expect it, but I just don't think Sergei Bobrovsky, without him, the Blue Jackets really don't have this historic season that they had and trying to turn Columbus into a hockey market. The Norris Trophy for the best defenseman, I'm going to give this one to Erik Karlsson. I think his contributions are so overlooked. I know everyone talks about him anyway, but there were years ago where Erik Karlsson came into the league, I believe he was 159. And nobody thought this guy was going to be as good as and dominant as he is. He's a shutdown defender who can put up points and pretty much can carry his team as a defenseman. So I know Brent Burns and Hedman are both good, but they got a much better supporting cast that does a lot more for their team than Karlsson. Karlsson is basically the decor of the Ottawa Senators, and that's just my take on it, guys. Feel free to disagree. Brent Burns, I know he's great, but he used to be a forward, and that's why he's as good as he is as a defenseman. Erik Karlsson, I don't know. The man just takes over games when he wants to, turns it up a notch, plays through anything, and the man is just a beast. No discredit to the other 2, but I just think it's got to go to Erik Karlsson. The Ted Lindsay Award, the best player as voted by the NHL Players Association. I think this one's going to go to Sidney Crosby just because it's the Players Association, and screw Sidney Crosby, you're a bitch. No, seriously though. I think he's going to go to Crosby. His contributions, both offensively and defensively, can be overlooked sometimes. I know he had a fantastic season offensively, but defensively, I don't think Sidney Crosby gets as much credit as he does. Again, I'm passing on Brent Burns. No offense to Brent Burns. I just think the other 2 guys are better. I think he comes in third in that race. I think Connor McDavid, as good of a season as he had, does have some defensive liabilities. With that being said, the Hart Trophy, the most valuable player between Sergei Bobrovsky, Sidney Crosby, and Connor McDavid. Bobrovsky, like I'd mentioned, carried his team. Sidney Crosby is the best player in the world. And McDavid came on this season like lightning. Out of nowhere, Connor McDavid drops 100 points. I got to give this one to Connor McDavid. Like I had mentioned before, the Oilers are not as good of a team without Connor McDavid. That's just my take, guys. If you don't like it, let me know. I mean, if you want Sidney Crosby to win it, who knows who's going to win it on Wednesday night. But Connor McDavid dropping 100 points for that team. He doesn't have the greatest help around him either. It's not like he's playing with a whole bunch of crap players, but he's certainly not playing with guys like Evgeny Malkin, although Crosby usually plays with, Rust and Sheary, or Gensel and Sheary. So not the greatest wingers, but Connor McDavid, there's no way that team is as good as they are without Connor McDavid. The man is a beast and soon will be coming for the throne of Sidney Crosby. But I just don't see McDavid taking both the Hart and the Ted Lindsay. So I'm going to give the Ted Lindsay to Sidney Crosby, but the Hart Trophy to Connor McDavid. Most valuable player has got to be Connor McDavid. That team is totally different without him. Without him, I'm pretty sure they're in the lottery again. With him, they made it to the second round of the playoffs for the first time in like 10 years. So Connor McDavid wins the MVP. Ted Lindsay goes to Sidney Crosby. Norris Trophy goes to Erik Karlsson. Vezina goes to Sergei Bobrovsky. Calder goes to Austin Matthews. Selke goes to Mikko Koivu. Lady Byng goes to Johnny Gaudreau. NHL Foundation Player Award goes to Hamonic. The Mark Messier Leadership goes to Nick Foligno. Jack Adams Coach of the Year is Babcock. Masterton Trophy goes to Craig Anderson, and the General Manager of the Year is David Poile. Poile, I think is his name. I keep butchering it, but and then here we go. The Morris Rocket Richard went to Crosby. William M. Jennings is Holtby, and Connor McDavid. So those are the awards that have been handed out based on point total. So there you go, guys. There is my predictions for who wins what award at the NHL Awards ceremony in Las Vegas, Wednesday, June 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC Sports Network and Sportsnet. Make sure to tune in because they will be dropping some NHL 18 information. Subscribe to my channel because I will be posting it. I'll be posting my takes on it. You guys will hear everything about it. I can't wait for NHL 18 to be unveiled a little bit more than just that teaser trailer. I'm very, very excited. So stay tuned, guys. I'm very excited for this. Subscribe, make sure you get notified. Hit that little bell if you're on your computer. You want to be notified when I post a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.